Well, another month has came and gone, and it is time for the August episode of Choose Our Own Adventure. The Patreon shows, if you're listening to this, man, I appreciate your patronage of 7 shekels or above. Thank you, and tell your friends about this show, because we need more patrons so we can do more things. Because the Patreon money comes on the 4th, and by the 10th, I'm like, ooh, Patreon is strapped for funds right now.
Because of the Popeye chicken sandwich.
Because of the Popeye chicken sandwich.
That's that chicken sandwich money.
So that fucking gauntlet was $100 of the $300 that Popeye gets every year.
There we go.
Now, there we go. And hey, there's the current draft champion, Brian Martin. Has now put on his brand new gauntlet that he won in the superhero movie draft over on Paprika.
Yeah, bitches.
It was inevitable.
It was inevitable. Congratulations to Mr. Martin for winning this bad boy. Didn't even when he blew us out of the water when it came to votes.
I really thought that was going to be close because like a lot of the people on the voting page
Such a
looked like they were
You're a
trying
child.
Crash, click, click, crash. Just going to hear it the whole time.
I thought it was bad with me snacking.
It's Snackin' Jackson, Snappin' Martin.
Those are some pretty.
Snapping Martin.
I think of all the drafts that we've done, that one was like probably the tightest as far as like rosters.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you could have made a case for any of them.
I was looking over mine right when we finished, and I was like, I think I got a pretty good list here. And I was looking at it later on, and I was like, oh, these guys got some good lists too.
But somebody complained like I had too many X-Men movies on there. I was like,
Yeah,
there's
two.
So also, that dude hates the X-Men movies.
See, it had 2 X-Men movies on his list, too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Why did you take the heat for that?
Did I? No,
You
I
did.
just
You
had
had Logan.
he
and
doesn't count Logan as one of the. I don't. No
that
one
what-
counts Logan as an X-Men movie.
Professor X is actually in it.
Yeah.
There's a man named Professor X.
But it's a good
referenced them.
movie, which lets you know that it's not an X-Men movie.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. But when it's all said and done, man, Brian won that shit. Congratulations. You have the gauntlet for the next couple of months until we do the winter show here.
I'm sure my wife will be thrilled.
You're welcome, Jacqueline. You are welcome. So let's get into some Choose Our Own Adventure. I know, we usually start these episodes with lamenting those that have passed. And of course, we have another one to talk about this time around. So, of course, a moment of silence for Spider-Man. It hurts. And that collective groan lets you know the fans' thoughts on Spider-Man going back home, as it were.
There's a homecoming.
I like that.
What if they just named the next Spider-Man movie Homecoming?
I think it's going to be
Homecoming 2?
homeless.
Homeless, yeah. We can talk about that a little bit later on. Art, does anybody have anything to bring up before we get into the bit of business?
Nah,
we all good?
we already talked about the Popeyes chicken a little bit.
Yeah.
Gotta get on that.
Sweeping the nation. Get on that if you haven't. If you're a vegetarian, get on it too.
Let's pitch these movies.
Well, we have no movie pitches for the last 2 months or so. It's like I'm taking your toy away from you.
That was literally like Stormbreaker just cutting off.
Leslie came up out of the roof like Hulkbuster. Held Brian down while Dramon just showed up and cut his arm off.
I'm just saying, I'm going to be the one who's going to have to listen to the mutterings and grumpings when he's trying to edit it later.
Correct.
Brian would not stop with that goddamn glove.
I already have 3 minutes that I don't want to edit. All right, well then let's just dive right into this bit of business then. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. 5, 6, 7 things to talk about today. So let's get into this bit of business. Elena, one of our newer Patreons, at the level that she gets to put a little bit of creative input here. She asked us to talk about gender fuckery and the Time Lords from Doctor Who, like how the Master and the Doctor both became women. Now, I'm very much on record as not being a Doctor Who fan at all. Yeah. So I paid no attention to this.
Nor am I.
Yeah, well, you just slept on it?
I didn't sleep on it. No, I remember I was at the Starbucks right by Heroes. Well, where Heroes used to be. Rest in peace to whatever that new. Oh, the Crunkleton. That's
It's still
right.
technically right next to Heroes. You just have to go in the opposite direction.
There's a difference between right next to and across the parking lot. So if I'm shot and I say I'm right next to Starbucks, don't go to Heroes across the parking lot to save me.
I'm at a place called the Crunkleton.
Let me die here, please. I was at that Starbucks when the news broke that Jodie Whittaker was going to be the new Doctor Who, and I was like, okay, yeah, cool, whatever. I didn't really think much about it. I saw Broadchurch.
And anuses around the globe clicked shut.
Oh my God, did they ever?
Mid-dump, just shot the loaf. Yeah,
shot the
jeez.
hashtag shot the loaf. Yeah, I didn't really care much about it. Not because I'm not Doctor Who. It's just like, all right, well, somebody was casted in something cool, and then you can't cast a woman as Doctor Who. And I'm like,
I feel
well,
like-
there's
why
female doctors too.
Look, we've been talking about this for a very, very long time. At this point, it's like 10 years since this conversation really started.
Well,
Oh,
You
yeah?
cannot be surprised at this point that they finally cast a woman.
It was first brought up as possible within the show when 10 regenerated to 11.
Yeah.
Matt Smith. I forget exactly what the comment was, but they're always like, oh, new body, blah 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 blah, you know. And one of the things inferred that he could have regenerated as a woman. So it's
So
been
they laid
there
the
for
groundwork
years.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually surprised it took them this long to do it. Like and I remember back in the day, I guess the whole gimmick with the regeneration was because, you know, I guess they lost an actor and had to replace him.
Yeah.
So they need some kind of gimmick or something to
To
explain
explain
that.
that. James
Yeah, but-
Bond, they're like, nah, fuck it.
I'm surprised.
Well,
I'm
back in
surprised
the
they,
day-
you know, with that they haven't done it sooner. Like, you know, I would love to see like more women and people of color. You know,
Well, they were like
regenerating into
back in the
Doctor
day. They were like, well, if we make it a woman, we have to call it the nurse, and that just isn't the same. Nurse who? Women can't be doctors. But now things have changed.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Leslie?
Oh, you mentioned James Bond, and that's kind of what the fan in air quotes uproar was similar to when
Loretta Lynch. Yeah, cast as not as James Bond, but
But
as
as
007.
007.
And people
There's a
are just-
distinction there.
they
People
lost their
are very
fucking
eager to be
minds.
outraged these days.
Yeah, they
yeah.
are. We're an outrage culture. As
Look,
it's
I am
now.
just very excited. I was very excited with Jodie Whittaker just because this opens the door. Obviously, it's a slippery slope. How long until I get my horse doctor? Because we all know it
always
starts with this gender flipping, and suddenly we're
the horse.
interspecies.
It's always
he
the
did
I want
actually
horse
try
doctor.
really hard to get a horse as his companion and what.
I think the door is open for Aquafina now.
Ah, yeah.
yeah.
Aquafina is the new.
Aquafina and everything.
I'm like, I don't know about that one. I love Aquafina, but even I'm just.
I mean, representation is dope. Let women of color, people of color, get their shine. Like I said, I know Jodie Whittaker from Broadchurch more than anything else, and I thought
Attack
she
the
did
Block. She was in Attack the Block.
She is
with,
the woman in
yeah.
Attack the
She was
Block
a-
with Moses himself,
Yes.
Jean Boyega.
I first saw her in an episode of Black Mirror.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it was her and was it Toby Kebbell? Was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doctor Doom in that bad Fantastic Four movie?
We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Which Black Mirror episode was
I
she
think
in?
that was the one where people had the recorded memories and stuff, and you.
Something about technology. You know, Toby Kebbell was in it.
Oh, I don't
You know
know
it's
who
Black
that
Mirror.
is.
And he
Yes.
was afraid his wife was having an affair, so he was like
Yes,
obsessed
I
with,
got
like,
you.
yeah.
I got you. Okay. Well, and I think Doctor Who proved that they could pull it off. They did it so well with the Master and Missy.
Yeah.
They kept some of those same traits, the conniving, the charming outer persona. They kept all that really well when they flipped.
Now, what is this Master Missy business? What is this all about?
He regenerated into a woman, and so
But we didn't know. That was the
No,
thing. Like,
she was
like she showed up as a
introduced.
villain,
Yes.
and we didn't know that was the Master. So it
No,
was like a
she
nice
was
way for the
called-
show to like soft test the waters on this whole thing. And by the time you're invested in her, and then you find out she's the Master,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
You know, they
she-
So
kind
is
of
this like
they
the
kind of
main-
incepted you into accepting
Yeah.
a Time Lord turning into a woman.
This is the main Doctor Who villain.
one
Yeah.
of. She's the Master has been a character since not like
Long,
the
long
first
ago.
season,
No, it
but
was like, I think-
classic Who, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
3 maybe.
And then brought in and season 3 of the new Who, and then season 8 is Missy.
Okay,
And-
all right.
and
And,
yeah,
they slid it in on you, huh?
Oh yeah, and it was so well done. It was so well done because she was knowledgeable, but not, like you were still kind of wondering like, who in the world could this be?
She was knowledgeable, but still a woman.
But then when you get that reveal, she's been saying things that she shouldn't know, and I believe. But until the doctor's like, "Who are you?" She's like, "I'm Missy. I couldn't very well go on calling myself Master." I'm the mistress.
Oh, okay. Oh, and that was the big reveal for Doctor Who. Oh, okay. And then British heads everywhere exploded, I assume. So yeah, I'm all for it.
I don't know if that gender outrage is a uniquely American trait either. I don't know how the British responded to all of this.
That would be interesting to see with the breakdown.
With a single bollocks, and then they moved on about their day.
Hogwash. Anyways.
Yeah, I
Nice
honestly
shade.
don't know.
Yeah. All right then. Well, let's keep moving. I hope she does many more seasons. She's got what, 2 in the bag already?
One. I think she's only
Just this one.
finished
This is her
one.
second, I believe.
Yeah,
All
coming
right, so
up.
we're coming up on the second. Okay, 1 in the bag. Well, good for her. Keep on going. Do a couple more. And I hope after that they regenerate into to Loretta Lynch is going to
Horse.
the horse. All right.
A raccoon. They've already done raccoon.
We'll get BoJack Horseman.
Badger.
All right. Moving on. Ryan Elliott in his infinite generosity of information literally just said Deadwood. Not what to talk about Deadwood, just talk about Deadwood.
Okay, I'll respond with one. Sure.
Just kind of with the singular. Yeah.
That's a thing.
Had any of us seen Deadwood?
Yeah.
You watched it all? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just watched
a
the
while
first
ago.
episode yesterday.
All right, then. Yeah, I think we're over the halfway point in season 1.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah. I'm loving this show so far.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So westerns used to be like a big deal on television, and then like kind of like the movies, they went away for a very long time. And like movie westerns happened once every 3 or 4 years. You'd get like a really good, high quality western movie.
Yeah.
And I think when Deadwood started, I don't know when the last time like a major network had a western show on in prime time, right?
Dr. Quinn Medicine.
That was probably it. That's probably it. Because I mean, like UPN had that show Legend with Richard Dean Anderson for a while, and Fox had The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. in the early '90s.
Yeah.
But we're still trying to talk about good
seasons.
shows.
Hey, Briscoe County was awesome.
Young writers in the 80s.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I loved that show.
So I think that HBO
Closest we got was Firefly.
really hit some. Oh, that was technically a western.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think HBO being able to approach westerns in the way that say Unforgiven had, where it's dirty and real and it doesn't feel polished like a 50s western. You know, it was just the right time for it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I was gonna say, to me, it felt like they were doing what HBO does best, where they do those big ensemble pieces. That it was like almost like watching, say, like The Wire or something like that. It just happened to be a western.
Yeah, I think HBO does best with. I mean, Oz giant ensemble. Sopranos got to be
True
a pretty
Blood,
big.
yeah.
True Blood. Game of Thrones is a huge
of
ensemble.
course,
yeah. And this is just yet another example of a giant ensemble, because you look at the cast list on Wikipedia, you're like, this shit goes forever.
Yeah.
2004 2006 is when it was on. Yeah, I have my notes. There weren't any other Western shows even close to that time period. I'd say if Deadwood hadn't been successful, we never would have got Hell on Wheels.
I don't think we would have gotten. We probably wouldn't have gotten Justified, which is like a modern day western. It's I just think like the genre isn't a moneymaker. It's not something people are looking to anymore, and so I think Deadwood kind of helped bring it back and resuscitate it a little bit, but definitely Hell on Wheels.
Yeah, I think Westerns are starting to creep back into the conversation a little bit, especially because we had the Justifies, the Hell on Wheels. We get one every other year now, maybe. You get shit like Hostels, which wasn't all that good, but it was beautiful. 310 to Yuma, and now the emergence of this urban Western with stuff like
Hell or High Water.
Hell or High, that's what I was trying to think
good.
of. That is an amazing movie, Hell or High Water.
I agree. That was good. I am not really a huge fan of Westerns, just in general.
Yeah.
Deadwood, I go back and forth. The show is well done. The acting is well done. The casting is great. But there are just some of it, just the misogyny, just the over-the-top abuse. I'm just like, nah.
It doesn't sit well, but I mean, like, again, it's like, where are you?
I mean, it was a
That's what the
product of
50s
time.
Westerns were for, you know? It's like.
Well, I'm not saying that it's
Hello,
a
Miss
bad
Kitty.
show, just like
People do
I'm
shitty
sort of
things
past
on
watching it.
Yeah.
I keep going back and forth. Like, it'll reel me in with something, and I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is really good. And then, like, on the last episode, Al grabs a lady by the crotch while he's threatening her, and it's like, fuck fuck you, dude.
Yeah. What did you think about the episode that you watched?
Oh man, yeah, the misogyny was definitely out there.
I feel like that plays
it
a
was-
little bit worse now too.
Yeah, it doesn't age well.
Absolutely.
But
It's never great. It's a little less great now.
like when I first saw those opening credits and saw like Timothy Olyphant, I was like, oh
Yeah.
I'm in now.
Yeah.
Like, then Ian McShane, and
Yeah. Oh,
And you
man.
Powers fucking Booth up in there, just being all Powers Booth.
but yeah, like first 5 minutes, I was like, I can watch this. I can
Yeah.
definitely continue watching this.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue watching it just to see how certain things play out, just to see how much more horrible can Al Swearingen get. That's the whole game that's being played on
He's
this
just
show.
slapping the shit out of people for no reason. It seems like the entire episode.
The Al Swearingen slap show is one of the
you're-
rejected titles.
You're Team Al, and I'm definitely Team Bullock here.
Yeah, because I like me just a good, moralist, dirty, grimy. He is the Peter Baelish of this whole thing. He's got his finger in every fucking pie. He knows what's going on, and he's just his only end game is money and power. From what I can tell so far, I don't think he's not doing all this horrible stuff to stack up money for his poor old sick mother anywhere. And it's just how much less morals, whatever he has left, how much of his soul can he cut away in the next episode? And yeah, his scruples are horrible. I did note on Twitter earlier today that Timothy Olyphant and his partner show up to open up a hardware store in which I have not seen Timothy Olyphant sell a single bit of hardware to anybody.
That is because Saul is the hustlinest dude.
Saul is one of the most hustlingest dudes.
Who goes from being the sheriff of a town to selling hardware? That is like
You gotta have your get out dream, man. Like I gotta
Yeah.
get out of this and do something. Yeah, you're not getting shot at.
Hardware
as much.
store was like the yacht of the 1800s.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh,
get
you got
out of here,
a
open my
store?
hardware store,
All right. Open the hardware
settle
store.
down with a nice lady.
And you're on the frontier. Everybody's gonna need what you're selling.
You need
Everybody needs
pickaxes,
nails.
You need nails. You need your dustpan. All that kind of your trestles.
It's
and all that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
The place is nothing but dust. You need a dustpan.
Like he got there, and like by the end of the night they got in town, he's already swept up in the shit. And his partner's like, I guess I'll just do his whole fucking dream we had by myself. So you've seen the whole thing? Have you seen the movie?
No.
You have not seen the movie.
Not
Have
seen
you
the
seen all seasons or whatever?
I think so. Like, I mean, I watched it when it was originally on. I don't. I think I saw all of it, but I've not come back to it. So
All right then.
Okay.
I have a
digging
few,
back for me.
few theories out to see if they pan out of who makes it out of all this alive and who doesn't.
I may actually not know the answer to that because I don't know what happens in that movie.
I will say I do like my namesake, Ellsworth.
Oh yeah, there's an Ellsworth in the
about
show,
that?
and he's a pretty cool dude.
He is
so
a nice
far.
dude.
Yeah.
I will probably at least finish out this first season.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
All right, we'll see how the season ends.
Yeah.
All right, then cool. Let's move on. Shannon, a constant contributor here. She said, our very own Encino Man / caveman / alien is coming to live at your house for their first pop culture experience via the new Space Force program. She took thought into this setup here. I like it. What pop culture crap are you crammed down in their 24-hour period? According to her, aliens / cavemen do not need to sleep, and neither do we. So we have video games, movies, TV, comics, beer, food, amusement parks, whatever. The best show them our idea of what America is all about. Who wants to go first on this crazy?
I think I will. I'm
right.
going to show them Superman the movie. I'm going to show them Close Encounters. I'm going to show them E.T. I'm going to show them everything that says, please don't kill us with your advanced weapons.
I had that same
We're
thought.
nice. We all get along. I'm not going to show them Independence Day. I'm sure as fuck not going to show them the Alien movies.
District 9, maybe?
You know, District 9's bad. That will make them want to kill us. Nothing that makes them want to kill us.
All right.
You know that gold record that has like Mary Had a Little Lamb? I don't know what's on the gold record. The one that's floating on the spacecraft out there that's got the human genome on it and like the thing that's going to blow up in our face one day. Yeah, I would just try to be as peaceful as
non-threatening
possible.
as
Yeah.
possible.
We're
I had
all
the
great.
same
We're
idea.
friendly people here. Maybe a Care Bears movie. I feel like the Care Bears came from outer space. I don't know.
That's going to blow up in your face because he's going to report back like, these motherfuckers are soft as shit and ripe for invasion.
Yeah.
So thanks. when
maybe
Thanos
a,
and gang rolls
maybe
into
a
town.
little Robotech. I think Robotech would make them nervous. It'd be like, yeah, we're soft and pink and tiny, but we've got music,
Yeah.
and boy, howdy, do we know how to use it. Like I put on my humps, and your whole fleet is dead.
That's what does it to him, huh? The new Min May is.
My humps, my humps, my humps. Ah!
Who knew Fergie was the new Lin Min May? All right, then I'll go next. I broke it down. You got to show them movies. I think movies is the best way to really get the American culture. And then I picked a little bit from each category. So if you want to show them our adventurous spirit, I'm going to show them Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think is one of your finest examples. I'm going to show them a little bit of sci-fi. I'm going to put on the Matrix for them. So you can be like, oh, man, they got some fucked up stories on this planet.
They might think we're capable of more than we actually are. So that's not bad.
And then I'm going to throw a rom-com at them. I'm going to be like, oh, humans know how to love, too. So, and when Harry Met Sally is what they're going to sit down and watch.
very nice.
And then that way I can gauge whether or not aliens have tear ducts and if they cry or not. And then I'll show them a little bit of fantasy, too. I'm going to show them The Shape of Water.
Yay.
Yeah. And then I'm going to show them The Departed at the very end. She's like, hey, we got all this cool shit, but we can get grimy when we need to get grimy. Martin Scorsese will save this world. That's going to take a good 10 hours or so. And then I'm going to have them read comics. I'm going to have them read the entire Hickman's Avengers run. And be like, all right, yeah.
You
So we
sit
have
down. You don't come out of this room until you're done with this, okay, alien?
5 hours of reading you got ahead of you right now. You're going to read the whole Hickman run. And then whatever remaining time's left, I'm going to take them over to Thirsty Nomad for some beer, 4402 Stewart Andrew Boulevard, for those of you listening in the local area. And I'm also going to, and while we're there at Thirsty Nomad drinking beer, I'm going to have them put on The Next Generation on TV.
Nice.
And that's how we're going to end our day. Drinking, eating some food, and watching Star Trek The Next Generation. That's a good 24 hours.
There are some aliens doing some questionable things in that Avengers run, though, so they could get some ideas.
Or he's going to be like, I know these guys, and I can help you
You're
if
like,
you need
shit,
some help.
Infinity Stones? Well, I got those in my trunk.
Podcast is being broadcast into space, and weren't you the one who wouldn't stop fucking around with it on the episode? Yeah. Don't you have them here on this planet? All right, then. What about you, Jamon?
I'm going to show this alien or whoever the wonderful world of Disney, and I don't mean that Mickey shit. I'm talking like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Mickey shit.
Between the Star Wars and an MCU marathon or whatever, that'll eat up a ton of time
Yeah,
right there.
that's your day gone, right?
Yeah.
Why is the big carpet subservient to that pink man?
Big walking carpet.
But I'm going to show them the Little Debbie hierarchy.
Such a snack in Jackson-esque answer.
Somebody literally sent me a picture a
I've
couple
seen
days ago, and it's like the hierarchy, this different hierarchy of Little Debbie snacks. It was pretty accurate. I was like, yeah, I would rank that right there. I would do that. Show them some of the classics in comics like Saga, your Preachers, Watchmen, of course. That's required reading. Batman, Dark Knight Returns.
All right.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
It's going to be a well-cultured
Yeah,
alien.
it's gonna be like across the board. Like,
all right. Then
probably throw in some Super Mario Bros. 3 because that's
what, humans? Oh, that was what else I did.
the sun is trying to kill me.
The alien's going to be like, well, this was all making sense until...
A feather that makes you fly. I forgot that.
hallucinogenics.
That was the beginning of my whole thing. Was Metal Gear Solid to show how humans strategize. That in itself is like 4
Oh, I wouldn't
hours.
want to clue them into
Yeah,
that.
no, that's a bad
I'm gonna
idea.
officially right there that.
We're giving away state secrets right here on Metal Gear Solid. All right, Leslie, what about you?
So I too was gonna start out with the original Star Wars trilogy.
Okay.
Just because, how can you not?
When they get to that cantina scene, like, my cousin's in this movie. I'm Max Rebo Jr.
Didn't shoot first. I was there.
Terrible. We'd go from there to coffee and cigarettes, so they can get a nice piecemeal version of some of what we do.
Jim
and
Jarmusch.
then-
Just show them
Jim
Jim
Jarmusch.
Jarmusch.
Yeah.
Ghost Dog. Yeah. all
Ghost
that
Dog.
good
Oh,
stuff.
man.
Ghost Dog. is
Show the
awesome.
hell out of some Ghost
Yes.
Dog to these aliens.
I would end the movies with Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it's great, and I think it shows a lot of the various ranges of humanity. You know?
It was about you guys finally figured out that memory removal technology, huh? It's just the movie.
And
These
then,
human life forms live with many regrets. We may exploit them.
then I'm going to veer off into a different direction from all y'all. My alien, I don't know about you guys, but my alien has a transporter. So
We got the great value aliens, guys.
they're going to so wonderfully take us to see the Louvre, the Smithsonian, blah, 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 the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History, the Van Gogh Museum, and anything else we can cram into the day.
Okay. Culture. You're showing up some culture. You got that
Yeah.
culture classy, alien. All right.
Showing
damn.
that giant whale. Is that giant whale still in the Natural History Museum?
You're taking them there, and I'm like, these are what Detroit projects look like. These are what New York projects look like. These are what South Central looks like.
And this is the White House.
And this is the one, the most rundown of all the buildings.
Maybe I would show them that one scene from Independence Day.
Thanks for giving them ideas. Can you make this happen?
Hey, we're buddies now, right? I feel like we're buddies.
I've done this a lot for you. You owe me one, don't you? All right, moving along. Well done, Leslie.
Thank you.
I will give you the victory on that. Moving along, man, to the lesser half of Shannon, her husband Scott. He said a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, we were all introduced to the cast of the Star Wars, and he made sure it specified not Episode 4. It was just titled Star Wars. But they've done other things. Here's Fort, Rick Deckard, Blade Runner, and Blade Runner 2049, all that good stuff. One of those movies is good. Warwick Davis, as he puts it, has starred in such stunning roles as Leprechaun, and The Leprechaun and Leprechaun 2. And his breakout role is The Leprechaun and Leprechaun 3.
Is that the one in the hood?
Now, Leprechaun, I think 4 is Leprechaun in the Hood. Okay. He said, please pontificate on some of their non-Star Wars roles of the Star, and please each gets their own star, no repeats. Okay. Now, I assume, Leslie, you were taking Carrie Fisher.
Oh, yes.
Go
of
for
course.
it then.
All right. So, rather than talk about her movies, she was also a huge advocate for mental health.
Yes.
She wrote numerous books, one of which was Postcards from the Edge, which was a semi-autobiographical book about her struggles with addiction and pills and trying to make a name for herself outside of her mother's shadow. And that was actually turned into a film with Meryl Streep and Shirley MacLaine.
Oh, damn, you're going to get a movie about some semi-biographical shit. Those are the two actresses.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shout out to
Right?
Shirley MacLaine. I haven't heard about her in
That
forever.
like screams Oscar.
Yeah, it really does.
She did an interview with Diane Sawyer in 2000, amongst other interviews, where she talked about not just her addiction, but her mental health issues, being bipolar. And she, through her work, just through being her and the different things, the ways that she talked about it, she really helped to normalize mental health and for people to start seeing it as a medical condition and not a personal flaw. So in that way, she just had a huge impact. She also was a script doctor. She would go in, work on the scripts, help tighten them up, add some jokes, help make them more linear, whatever they needed. She would do that. She worked on all 3 of the Star Wars prequels: The River Wild, The Wedding Singer, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Sister Act, Hook,
Oh, wow.
and Made in America.
Okay. All right.
Just to name a few.
I can only imagine what those prequel scripts were like before she got
Yeah.
to doctoring it.
Yeah.
Good
that-
Lord.
yeah.
Come on, George, you're killing me. All right, then. What about you there, Mr. Martin? Who do you want to take? What star do you want to take?
Which one of us?
Martin.
God damn it.
Yes, I know. We look alike. I get
Constant.
Mr.
mistake.
What star who are you taking?
So Mark Hamill, who has done a lot of other things since then, but is most widely recognized for his voiceover work, which goes beyond just the Joker, which he's played in the animated series. He's played it in video games. He played it in the Justice League series. He is in the DC original animated movies. Several of those he's played the Joker in, but he's done a wide range of other video game work. He has appeared most recently as the voice of Chucky in the new Child's Play.
Yeah.
He has appeared as himself on shows like The Family Guy and The Simpsons. He did a voice on Avatar: The Last Airbender. He's been on Regular Show. He's just done if it's an animated show that's run for more than 8 episodes, Mark Hamill's probably turned off on it at some point. But he's still doing some live action stuff too, although that's a little bit rarer. He played the Trickster on the original Flash TV show in the 90s, and he returned to the role for the CW's Flash series.
Yeah.
Yes.
and he played, of course, he was in Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Is he as
For a
himself?
brief, no,
Because
not-
in the
not
comic books,
Kingsman.
it is Mark Hamill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He plays
Wait,
like a
that doesn't make
professor,
it-
like
so
a college
in the comic
professor.
books, they kidnap Mark Hamill. So in the movie, they make it Mark Hamill, but not as Mark Hamill.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absurd. Like,
That is crazy. Yeah.
It just goes like I think Mark Millar has written a lot of comic books with the intention of meeting certain celebrities.
Yeah.
Because when he did
That's how we
Wanted,
get Samuel L. Jackson's
when he,
Nick Fury.
When he did Wanted, he had J.G. Jones make the Fox look like Halle Berry
Berry,
in
yeah.
the hopes that, and this is true, he actually said this, he just wanted to meet Halle Berry. And then they cast Angelina Jolie, and I'm sure he was disappointed.
Because I think that, and then I think
It's a-
the main character Wesley was supposed to be modeled after Eminem.
Yeah, it was Eminem.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, aside from that, he also played Cockknocker in Jay and Silent Bob Strike.
That's good pull.
So
The limp lightsaber.
he's got a lot going on, and I feel like the voiceover work. Every time he tries to leave the Joker, he gets pulled back to the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's ever going to change.
No, I don't
Probably
think it will.
not.
No.
He's to me like the quintessential Joker. I
Yeah,
think.
I don't know if there was any truth to the rumors because they've been talking about casting for that Crisis on Infinite Earths thing with the CW
Yeah.
crossover. There were rumors that he had been cast as the Joker.
Well, I
in
think
there, but
after
I don't-
Conroy was brought in as Batman,
Yeah.
that's when those rumors kind of kicked up. It's like, well, we're doing this. Why not that? He's already appeared on these shows as the Trickster.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck with continuity now. All right, Mr. Jackson, are you
Yes.
taking Harrison Ford there?
No, I took one William December Williams Jr.
Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams. That is actually his name. I was like,
William
so this is
Williams?
William D. Williams. Yes. So he's had quite the prolific career. Outside of Star Wars, of course. Back in the days, he was starred alongside Diana Ross and Lady Sings the Blues and Mahogany.
Yep.
He's probably most known, especially during the '80s or so, for the Colt 45
Colt 45.
commercials.
Hey, it works every
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
If you know that.
Stay
Smooth.
classy, Cloud City.
Smooth, man, smooth. Of course, Batman '89. He got to play Harvey Dent. Unfortunately, he didn't.
He didn't get to be Two-Face.
Didn't get
though.
to be well, technically, he did later on.
Yeah, that's true.
So he played Two-Face in the Lego Batman movie. He also did.
Okay.
He reprised the voice of Lando in the Lego movie.
And in Robot Chicken.
Yes.
Yes.
Great skit, brief skit in Robot Chicken. It's a lovely ship, Boba. Not crazy about that name though.
Yeah, he's been all over. Yeah, all over television. I think most recently I remember him. I think he was playing it himself in maybe Modern Family and so.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Really?
Of course. Let's see.
Isn't he an undercover brother?
Yes, that's why. Yeah, Undercover Brother. He was like the general.
The
or whatever.
general, the
Yeah.
general's chicken. or
Yeah.
whatever,
I guess it was supposed to be kind of like a Colin Powell type character.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, he just seems to just keep hanging around. And,
Yeah,
and
he's never
doing
really
some
gone
more stuff.
away. Like
And we will see him later on this year, reprising finally.
Yeah.
that Lando role
in the Donald Glover yellow shirt too.
in the Donald Glover.
He's
yeah,
like, let me
some-
show you how it's done, guys.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Then I will take Mr. Ford. And like Scott said, I think if it's not Han Solo, then it's Indiana Jones. If it's not Indiana Jones, then it is Rick Deckard. And there you go. That's it. That's all said and done. He has had the best live action career outside of Star Wars.
Jack
I mean, he
Ryan.
has.
Yeah.
He's been Jack Ryan. He has. Who else has like 4 or 5 iconic characters under their
even
belt?
like Richard Kimball in The Fugitive is pretty
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up
iconic.
there. Yeah.
Like
I didn't kill my wife.
He
I don't
earned
care.
enough goodwill throughout the 80s and early 90s that he could make 6 Days, 7 Nights and Hollywood Homicide and still come back for an Indiana Jones movie.
And that horrible submarine joint, U-570.
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
it
God,
is.
yeah,
We don't
wow.
talk about that.
Oof.
We don't talk about it at all. Yeah, I think he seems like he's kind of done with acting. He shows up, he collects his paychecks.
Crashes some planes.
That's his new hobby these days. Is
Crashing
he's-
planes.
This is a cry for help, is what.
If you really want to see, like a great picture of what like latter day Harrison Ford is like, just look at ClickHole's articles about like close call. Harrison Ford got stuck in the gears of Big Ben today. Close call. Harrison Ford stood up and got decapitated on a roller coaster. Close call. Like it's all of this stuff. And like one time he ended up in like a time warp.
What was the last time you think Harrison Ford really like he showed up ready to work. Was it Force Awakens?
Jeez. No,
No.
he was no.
He was ready to go.
No, he
Yeah,
showed up
was
on that.
checked out.
He showed up for that paycheck.
Yeah.
On Force Awakens,
Maybe-
one hundo.
Blade Runner
Maybe Blade Runner.
2049?
Like he felt like he was a little re-energized for Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Good
And
call.
it's because I think it wasn't as demanding, and I think he got more material to work with.
Right.
Like I think his role in that movie had a more of an emotional payoff even than Force Awakens did. I think.
Yeah,
He looked
Yeah.
like he was kind of having fun when Anchorman 2 had like
He's part of the big
Mac
battle.
Cannon. Yeah.
I mean, he can come in and have fun for like 10 minutes, I'm sure, but
Yeah,
like
when he's
just-
one of the stars, maybe the last Indiana Jones. I think he put his all in that. It's just not a good film.
I think he did. I think he did have fun, and I think he put a lot of effort into Indy.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's on record as saying that's his man's right there. That's his favorite character.
Yeah. Like it's weird that he would agree to come back to that, but really hate Han Solo. So.
Well, I mean, he hates.
Well, he's wanted him dead since Empire.
Since Empire,
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
just get me out of
Yeah.
this movie.
But it's weird because I think one of his negotiating factors to come back for Force Awakens was you make me another indie movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. That was the
Okay.
deal. I will come back and do
Kill Han.
Force Awakens.
Another indie
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
those are
I
the two
knew they
things.
had to kill Han.
Keeping it going. And then, so that takes care of all our original peoples there. Let's move on. Speaking of Star Wars, Brad Ledbetter of Thirsty Nomad Brewery, 4402 Stewart Engine Boulevard. He says, give me some theories for the plot for Rise of Skywalker. His theory is that it's going to suck so bad.
That's
come on.
No, come on.
No.
Jeez.
He says probably
Oh,
because J.J.
shit.
Abrams is not a good writer, plus Chris Terrio, who has top writing credit for Batman versus Superman. He says he thinks it'll be pretty and pretty dumb.
My fear about J.J. Abrams isn't that he's not a good writer, because I think he is. I don't think J.J. Abrams knows how to land anything.
Yeah.
I think third acts are his big Achilles heel, and that's what makes me nervous about Skywalker.
And this
That
is the
being
third
said-
act of the third act.
Yeah.
That being said, I think there is way too much riding on this movie for Disney to shove out a clunker.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Especially after Solo.
Yeah.
So, I have every reason to believe, sure, the two of them are getting like writing credits on this, but no less than 100 human beings have their hands on that script.
Oh yeah.
Agreed. And I find it interesting that he kind of, to support his argument, picked Batman versus Superman as Chris Terrio when he also wrote Argo and won an Oscar for
Yeah.
Best Adapted Screenplay for Argo, as well as nominated for Golden
It's
Globes
not-
and nominated for other things for that screenplay. So it's not like Chris Terrio constantly puts out bad work.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I don't even like to give him some credit. I don't think BVS was necessarily the writer's fault.
Some
I
studio
think
meddling
it
going
was
on
studio
there.
meddling.
Yeah.
It was edited poorly.
But then again, someone had to write the line, "Tell me, do you bleed?"
That's
Somebody
true.
had to write that line.
That's
It
true.
could have been executives like, could you put that in there?
But this,
in
hey,
it.
my
Put it in there.
8-year-old really wants to see this on screen. A couple of theories that I have. I guess I'll go first here. I think Palpatine is a complete misdirect in some way, shape, or form. I think he will have influence on the movie. I don't think they've announced Ian McDiarmid is going to be in this movie.
I think they did.
Have they announced that he's
Well,
gonna be?
okay, so at Celebration, he like came out on stage. And like they showed the trailer once, and then he came out after the rest of the cast had left the stage and said in the Emperor's voice, "Roll it again," or something like that. And like, that's a pretty big tip off.
Okay.
And I think McDiarmid himself has talked about making the movie. and coming
Okay,
back for
all
it.
right.
So I think it's pretty much a guarantee he's in it.
It's looking like when that poster dropped the other day there at the D23, it's looking like it's going to be kind of Return of the Jedi-ish. Only instead of Luke and Vader fighting while Palpatine kind of chills over everything, we get Kylo Ren and Rey fighting while Palpatine chills in the background. The question is, who's getting that electricity? That's all I want to know.
I think that Kylo Ren is going to have a come to Jesus moment where he realizes that he spent all this time looking up to Vader without really realizing what a shitbag the Emperor was.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be like, whoa, this is really not what I signed up for, you know?
Yeah, this is not what I thought it was.
You're a crazy fuck.
Please give me that one F-bomb, man. Give me that one F-bomb.
Yeah, they say fuck in a galaxy far, far away.
You
That's
know
the
they
first
do.
time. That's
You
the first
know
time it was
they
ever
do.
said.
What was? Can you
Yeah.
say that again, please? I'm not familiar with that
not even
etymology.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, move milker.
Oh, how dare you, sir?
that's literally the only theory I have for Rise of Skywalker.
The Emperor's a moof milk?
Well, no, not that. But
We know him.
No,
At least
I think Kylo Ren's
the
finally going to
shitty
move
brain.
over to the light side.
That seems to be. I called that right
similar.
before The Last Jedi, and it seems like that theory has been thought of by a number of people, and it's starting to grow steam. Do you think he's going to try to flip?
I think Rey is definitely going to try to flip him. A couple of the things that we learned from descriptions of the D23 drop was that Kylo is in some sort of white room or chamber with Vader's helmet, and there's some sort of dark Rey moment. And we also get Rey telling Finn and Poe that it's too dangerous and she has to go by herself. So my assumption is that Kylo is in the hyperbaric chamber, in Vader's old hyperbaric chamber in the destruction of the Death Star. And that's what Rey's talking about. And she goes in there. And I think that because that's kind of where the Emperor died, you're going to have all of that dark force energy there. So I think...
It's like the cave on Dagobah. This
Yeah.
place is strong with the dark side of
Yeah.
the Force. I had a theory about that, and I'll tell you in a second.
I think she's... I can't decide if it's going to be a vision that, like, Kylo or the dark side of the Force is trying to give to her of, here's all the power you can have, or if she is going to really get drawn into it.
So I have a
trying
theory
to
about
save
that.
him.
But my theory about the cave on Dagobah, when Revenge of the Sith came out, was that at the end closing montage of here's where everybody went was going to end with Jar Jar and Yoda being left on Dagobah, and Yoda's Jar Jar's gonna be like, oh, this is lovely, oh, look at the fish, and Yoda's just gonna give him the side eye, and then we don't see or hear anything out of Jar Jar again, and then Empire Strikes Back rolls around, he's like, that place is strong with the dark side of the Force, and it's like, oh shit, that's where he killed Jar Jar.
With the Rey going dark, I mean, I think they kind of set that up in Last Jedi because she goes straight to the dark side, and they don't really touch on it again.
Yeah, you went straight for it.
Yeah, I think there's a little breadcrumb for this movie coming out.
Now, what if they basically redefine, the whole Jedi Sith dynamic, and we see Rey and Kylo both somewhere where it's kind of not dark, not light, but somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
Great
I would
Jedi.
love it.
Great
They're
Jedi.
going to be
I
making
would
it in
love
that
it.
hyperbaric chamber she was talking about. It's going to end like The Fifth Element, where they're both in there like making
All
out. You
right,
hear that Eric
all
Serra
right.
music come in and
All right.
cut to
I'm
black.
with it, I'm
No,
with
but
it.
I think
Chris Tucker's going to show that. Come on, man.
I really do think that this movie is going to bring us back to the prophecy of the balance of the Force, and it's going to bring us back to two ideas that were posited by the prequels. One that was sort of subtly posited and then confirmed by the Darth Vader comics, and the other that the Emperor talked about in Revenge of the Sith.
Plagueis the Wise.
So the Darth Plagueis the Wise thing about how he found a way to cheat death.
Yeah.
And I think the Emperor has found a way to, maybe it's just a Force ghost, maybe it's just bad juju, but I think he's more than your average Force ghost.
That Force Ghost is
And-
able to manipulate things.
But I also think that how do you reconcile the quote unquote setup for Rey that the fanboys bitched about when Last Jedi came out with the fact that her parents were just nobodies who were buried in a debtor's grave, right?
Yeah.
You reconcile that by making Rey sired by Palpatine the same way Anakin was. Because we know that at this point Anakin was his mother, it wasn't some virgin birth. It was Palpatine at work creating Anakin. So what if he did that from beyond the grave with Rey, and that's why in this movie she learns more about her heritage and maybe has this dark side struggle.
All right, then.
And Kylo Ren ends up being the guy that has to drag her back from it.
I think they're going to flip at some point. And I just imagine Palpatine just scouring over trillions of women in the system like, ooh, I do like brunettes. Who is this Shmi Skywalker? Shmi, yeah, she'll be the one.
Well, Qui-Gon wanted to hit that. So, it's like,
Qui-Gon was like, let me put on my smooth Irish voice right quick.
I can tell you're midichlorian. You have a lot of untapped
Two things
potential.
I think we'll
I'd
see.
like to tap it for you.
We'll see Ewan McGregor and or Hayden Christensen beside Hamill as Force Ghost.
Oh, yeah. Force
hope
Ghosts
so.
out
Yeah.
the ass in this movie.
Force Ghosts. I
They
think
should
it's
have.
gonna
It's been Star Wars Episode 9. Force,
be
Ghosts
Force Ghosts out the ass.
I want to see. I want to see Liam Neeson back. I feel like Liam Neeson would absolutely come back for it. He's already done it once in voiceover.
Yeah, what else has he got going on? And I think Cold Pursuit Part 2. I don't
Right,
think so.
yeah, come on.
And I also
Get you
think
back one
the new Jedi Order that arises out of this will be called the Skywalker, and that
Yeah.
will be
Oh, yeah.
the
I could
rise
get down with
of
that.
Skywalker.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right then.
name.
The one thing I think we can agree on is that it will not probably suck so bad. as
I don't think
No.
it's going to suck so bad.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right then. Let's move it on along. Candace Carpenter, the green-eyed beauty herself, says monster hunting. Random, but I'll take it. What role would each of you fill on a monster hunting team? So I threw out a couple of possible archetype type roles. You got leaders, thieves, a tech person if you want to get a little bit more updated, bards, wizards, sorcerers, some brawn. Which would each of you be?
I wanted to be the tech dude.
You mean a tech dude?
Yeah.
What is that
The
called?
guy in the chair?
The guy in the
the guy in
chair.
the chair.
Yeah, you mean the guy in the
Make all the
out in the
weapons
van
and the-
with the,
Right.
the ving
Clickety
rings.
clack 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 clack.
See, I'm gonna be
Toast,
making-
toast.
That's my favorite Mission Impossible ever.
See, I'm going to be making all these Wile E. Coyote like Acme style like weapons and stuff.
It's just
All these contraptions and, like-
exploding chewing gum.
We're going to be out there on the radio. Damn it, Jackson!
It didn't
when
work
your
again. None
stuff
of them
fizzles
worked.
out and stuff.
Not again.
It's like, get the bats again.
Leslie, what role after our tech has completely failed us in the field?
That's exactly why you have me, the sorceress, to magic your asses out of trouble.
Why do you keep trusting him with these weapons?
A giant boxing glove came out of this gun he gave
It's like
me.
his mom's bankrolling the whole operation. He had to keep him on.
So you're the sorceress, huh?
Hell yeah.
All right. Do we have any examples of sorceresses going against monsters? Well, did you never say what kind of monster it was? Like for me, in my head, the monster's like a. All right. Oh, yeah, the old Gandalf Balrog business.
That didn't
Well, I
go
mean,
great.
that didn't go quite well for
You need a whole team, though.
yeah.
Well, and you
Kind of
have
had a whole team. Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. Well,
Didn't
we
go
need
great.
somebody to actually just like grab her arm as she's falling off the bridge. That's what we need. You might lose a leg, but you know.
No, one guy with one beefy arm.
Okay, which of you was the brawn?
I got you.
Oh, I didn't pick the brawn. I'm sorry. Man.
Oh no.
All right, then, Sorceress Ellsworth. Brian, what about you?
I'll be the brawn. But
Thank you for saving my
be a
girlfriend,
nice,
sir.
nice
I
role
appreciate it.
reversal. But what I really wanted to be was the videographer. Like,
Just document everything.
because when I was thinking monster hunting, I immediately went to troll hunter, and I was like,
That's what I kept
we need a
thinking
videographer.
of, yeah.
We need a guy who videotapes from the passenger
Chronicles
seat
the
of the
whole
Jeep.
story. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're chasing the monsters. We got the video. We're getting.
Yeah, especially in this day
See,
and age,
you and the
YouTube.
tech guy, you're really a two-man team.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
shit!
Wait
Ian
till-
Jackson.
I'll be like, wait till they see this.
Brian knew the whole time Jermon shit wasn't going to work. Leslie's out there flailing all by herself.
Jermon's like, hey, I gave you a bunch of new tech in your bags there. Good luck. And I'll just look at you guys and be like, we're good. I flipped the bags.
He's like focusing the cameras like, yeah.
Knew that shit wasn't going to work.
I have no idea. Boy,
Wait till I
the
live
third act
stream
is going to
this.
be wild.
Shit is going south.
I chose a different path. I'm the monster being hunted
Oh.
in this whole thing. Yes, yes.
Oh.
So looks like I'm going to be safe with your incompetent asses.
Like, did we know it the whole time, or were you
This is
with
a
us?
twist.
Like, with
Yes,
you were like
third
this
act
big hulking brute with like one of those like glasses mustache combos.
Old
He's like
Groucho Marx.
I mean, let's go hunt the monsters.
He's like constantly wearing sunglasses, and then he finally like pulls them off, and you see these green eyes and all this stuff. Like,
How did we not see this?
I'm talking to other monsters like, they got me chasing myself. I'm perfect.
We do those confessionals. We'll have those little like reality show confessionals where we like talk. It's like Seed, actual monster. Yes, they haven't caught on.
It's like Leo talking to Jack Nicholson in Departed, or Matt Damon talking to himself. They got me chasing myself.
Yeah.
it's all like a setup, like Mysterio and stuff. It's just
Nah,
like,
it's all
these
one
fake,
giant
yeah.
sub.
I'm just crying into the camera. How did I not realize?
I thought I knew him.
Hell, I've been
is-
filming the whole thing and I didn't catch on.
Just cuts to me like, ding. And our last question comes from one Duquan Grady Swint. What would be your dream job in the film industry? Brian, you go first.
Monster videography.
Makes perfect sense.
I think we've been there. No, I don't. I really do think, going back to what Leslie was talking about earlier, script doctor would probably be my thing.
All right.
Because I think I'm very good at picking apart things other people have done. You could be a script doctor too. We can all be script doctors. No, not just that. I think being in the writer's room would be great. Being part of a writing team would be great. I would love to be part of the Pixar writing team. Just because I feel like I would learn as much as I would be able to contribute.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to be in a writer's room for something that's absolute shit. I would want to be in the writer's room.
No one wants to be that,
Where
Brian.
you've got, I mean, it would be kind of funny to be like, this movie's going to tank. Let's see what we can cram in. This is going to be so stupid. It's like, and then he's in the restaurant and he jumps into the lobster tank and starts eating the lobsters. Guys,
someone to prove that.
I'd be like, can we make the whole movie about that? Because I would have
From
watched
the lobster's
Venom.
perspective, yeah.
The lobster's perspective. Too bad they already released the lobster.
The lobster.
in theaters.
Oh, damn it. All right, then, Leslie, are you going with script doctor there?
Ish. Script reader or script analyst rather
Okay.
than script doctor. So where a script doctor comes in afterwards, after it's been written, and helps clean it up and that sort of thing, a script reader is someone who works on the front end. They're more the first audience for that script. They go through and write essentially like a book report, plot synopsis, character arcs, that sort of thing, and a recommendation to the agency, the producers, the whomever, of whether or not they think it should actually move into production as a movie or not. I think that would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
You could have stopped BVS.
Yeah, if they had one of those, which I'm going to assume they probably
What if
didn't.
the script reader accidentally had the script and then dropped it? And they're just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and just gathered all the pages together and sent it back. And it's like, well, this
like all
doesn't make much
jumbled up,
sense,
right?
but I guess, I mean, she said it was good.
Oh,
All right. What about you, Jermon?
I want to be an executive producer, like something on the level like a Kevin Feige or
the
something
EP,
like that.
okay.
Yeah. I think that would be so much fun.
Get
Just,
them dope hats.
yeah.
Throwing money at projects?
Yeah, throwing money at projects, having access to all these studios and seeing these actors, like being able to see a project go from soup to nuts, and it's,
Yeah.
People kiss your ass all the time.
Good point. Good point.
you can be like, hey, I want a Gambit movie, and it's gonna get made or
Yeah.
whatever. And
Jermon getting his points on the back.
Because
end.
you know Feige got made fun of growing up with that last name.
Oh, yeah.
But like, nobody making fun of him now.
No.
Oh, God, no.
No.
God, no.
No one has the money to get close enough to make fun of him. Except
you
the
make-
producers who also have their own
It's
money.
like, you make that many billion-dollar movies in a row, then come talk to me.
Right. I'm going with cinematographer. I'm going to be the guy that's out there shooting said movie. Yeah, because the one thing that really draws me into a movie is how good does it look. That's one of the reasons why Blade Runner 2049 is one of my favorite films, because it's just visually a feast, along with things like Lawrence of Arabia. One of the things that makes or breaks a movie for me is how well did you shoot this? How well did you use light or shadow? And, how do you move? How are you moving the camera? Where are you positioning the camera at? Those are the kind of things that I look at when I watch a movie for the first time. And that is it, man. That is it for this Choose Our Own Adventure. Let's go around the horn real quick. Jamon, what are you nerding out on?
Over this past weekend, I've been binging Boondocks.
Going
yeah.
back to
Oh,
Boondocks.
my
huh?
goodness.
Well, they're producing more of it now.
Yeah.
right? So it's good.
I'm
time to go
I'm
back.
about like partway into the third season now, and I was like, wow, the fact that some of this stuff, like 10, 15 years later, is still relevant is like scary. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the R. Kelly stuff,
Yeah, we're still talking about.
yeah,
the
we're
same
still talking
goddamn
about some of
thing.
this stuff now. It's
Just
like
let you know people knew back then and didn't do anything.
yeah, it was so ahead of its time.
Yeah. What about you, Leslie?
So I recently finished up the first season of Killing Eve, which is really good.
That was good.
I wasn't sure really what to think going into it. I had only heard of it. But yeah, binged that in like 2 days. That was fantastic. And I've been listening to Stephen King's It. So in preparation for the release of part 2 in a couple weeks.
Man, how long must that audiobook be?
78
44
hours.
plus hours.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Tell you what, he can do it in 2 days. I don't understand what the problem is here.
And let's see, I am 29 hours into it.
Wow.
Wow.
All right, a little
Impressive.
past the halfway part. All right.
Pretty impressive.
And you, Mr. Martin.
I've been catching up on Glow. Like the third season dropped a couple weeks ago, and now I'm like, oh god. So that's always the signal for me. It's like when the next season comes out, I'm like, well, shit. Now I really got to get on this, or it's going to get out of control very quickly. That's what happened. That's what happened with Kimmy Schmidt for me. Like, and it's what happened with Voltron, Legendary Defender. It's like all these shows. Like, I watch the first season when it comes out. I'm like, can't wait for the second. And then the second drops, and I'm like, I got time. But then Netflix is like, no, you don't. You don't have time, fucker. We're dropping the other season now. And I don't know when the second season of Glow came out. I can't remember.
Same.
It came out
But-
last year.
Was it a whole year ago?
Not quite a whole year.
Yeah, because I was like, usually my brain, I have this sort of internal chronometer that clocks it. It's
Yeah.
like 12 months later, I'm like, it should be about time. Maybe we should watch this. But that didn't happen with Glow. So I'm almost through the second season now. And
In,
it's,
in
it's
fairness,
really good.
with Voltron, it seemed like they were dropping 3 seasons a year or something.
They
like
did.
that. It
I
was
don't know.
nuts.
Like, I don't know. Is it just reused footage? I don't know.
Maybe, Brian.
Like, it takes time to make these things,
Some
right?
animators died while they were making this show.
it's like the whole studio burst into flames. They're like, you've still got 5 minutes of the last episode, you fuckers. Nobody's punching out.
I, meanwhile, have been listening on repeat to the latest Little Brother album, May the Lord Watch. It is their first album in,
14 years?
14 years?
Well, no. 'Cause they've done a couple post.
They did.
Nice
They
Wonder.
did Left Back in
Maybe
2008,
almost a decade,
9. Yeah, it's
maybe?
been about a decade since
Yeah.
their last album. We knew that they were going to be back doing something. They hinted at it, and they're just like, midnight, there you go. New album's out, and everybody's like, holy shit. And it is well worth the wait of 10 years of not having a classic album.
I would listen to an entire album of nothing but the UBN skits.
Yes, they're.
Or if they do like maybe a video type something on YouTube or something like that, that would be
Yeah,
like,
I would check that out. Someone said it on Twitter, like the amount of fan service with the skits rivals Avengers Endgame because
Yeah.
they brought back characters from skits from albums 10 and 12 and 13 years
Yeah.
ago. And you're like, and these characters have grown in this 10 years. People who in this fictional network, UBN, were just like show hosts are now the president of the network in
Right.
Pete Rosenberg's case. And
Roy
all
Lee
sorts
or
of
whatever,
Roy Lee.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still, he finally came up out of making producing or sampling at least.
Yeah.
Lots of good stuff. So if you're a hip hop fan, May the Lord Watch is going to be something. It's 37 minutes. I listened to this 37-minute album the first day it dropped for 6 straight hours at work. And it is amazing. So that's it. That is it for this episode of Choose Our Own Adventure. We'll be back next week in September for some more goodness. And one last note to point out, a couple of us here asked for material earlier in the months so we have more time to prepare and get all nice and prepped for this. And some people were still scrambling the night before to get their notes together. I'm not gonna name any names here. That's it. You guys take it easy, and we will see you next month.